What's going on, everybody? Same outfit, same day, 3 different cars. It's been quite a day. Today I have 2 cars here because I'm doing a comparison video. This was actually requested by a viewer for me to look at the Blazer and the Premier trim, such as this one, but I figured why not take a look at the RS model because this thing looks super sweet. So today we're taking a look at a car that a lot of people have called the Camaro SUV. And I agree. It does look very Camaro-esque in the way that it sits, but I also think this is one of the coolest looking SUVs on sale today. It is technically in between a compact and a mid-size SUV. Competes with things like the Ford Edge, the Kia Sorento, etc., but I think this thing looks really handsome. I love the interior of it, which is something I don't say about a lot of cars in terms of domestic, but these things are really cool. So today I'm going to take you through not only this one, but I'm also going to compare the RS model here, and I'm going to show you the key differences between the two, and let's see what you guys think. So again, this is brought to you by Steve Raymond Chevrolet here in Smyrna, Georgia. Really appreciate it, guys. They have really treated me like royalty here, and I'm very thankful I get to do this. So in saying that, I'll link them in the description below so y'all can take a look at both of these. So in saying that, let's get to the review. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe to the channel. That way you can show support for these cars and the reviews that I'm doing. I love doing these for you guys, and I love taking initiative to give you guys great content. So definitely support the channel in that way, and also give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Definitely help support the channel as well. Outside of that, you can hit that bell to get alerts every time I release a video, but I'll leave that up to you guys. Let's get back to the review. I'm going to start off with the Premier model because this is the flagship trim for the Chevy Blazer. I know a lot of people are angry that they use the Blazer on a crossover versus a full-size SUV like the olden days, but I think this one actually does the trick. So with the Premier model, you are going to have a lot of chrome because that is their most luxurious, most opulent model. So you have chrome striking the front grille here, a little chrome strip above the bow tie. The bow tie is actually emblazoned with chrome, and this is the black bow tie. It's an individual option. And then you do have chrome strips on the front. You do have a front facing camera because this vehicle does have a bird's eye view camera system. And then you do have this little intake at the bottom here, and this grille is actually hollow as well because a V6 is actually powering this thing. Up front here, you're going to have your LED running lights up here. You're going to have your LED headlights and then your indicator, okay? These are going to be your high beams and your low beams, so you have both in one unit, but I love the fact that the running light is up here and split. Seems to be a common trend in the car world nowadays. And this gray paint is gorgeous. I love the flake in it. They do really well with paint jobs, I will say. General Motors does in terms of flake. Now, other things to make note, you do have this contrast paint color here. It's kind of a lighter silver versus this darker gray, but it also continues on the bottom here almost as a skid plate, but it is a painted surface, and I do think it looks really, really clean. On the RS model, however, you do have a dark chrome accent. You have a RS badge, and then the grille is actually a little bit different. You have the same openings, but a little bit different in terms of design. This has a little bit of a honeycomb kind of texture to it. Still open, but you can see you got dark chrome accents there. And then the bottom here is actually going to be gloss black. So that is another difference. The headlight surrounds on these are also going to be a gloss black, but the lighting is still similar. And then this one does have the surround view camera system as well. Just make note. As far as wheel sets go, both models are going to carry a huge 21-inch wheel option. So these are 21s. This is going to be wrapped in a Continental tire. It's a 265 width, 45 series sidewall. And I will say the design is very clean. It's kind of on the vanilla side, but again, this is their most luxurious trim, so it's not going to be too aggressive, and I understand that. But one thing I do actually make note is that this is actually a 6-lug pattern, which is kind of unusual in this class of vehicle, but still kind of cool to see. Overall, I think it's a clean design, but one thing I would like is the fact that these center caps, I wish these matched the grille emblem by being black. Like I said, these are also going to be 21s. However, these are gloss black, and look at that black emblem in the center cap. 6-lug pattern. So essentially the same wheel design, just gloss black on the RS. Out of both vehicles, I want to make sure you guys see the fact that you got Blazer emblazoned on the side, not only on this one but also on the red one. However, the font is actually black on the red one. So on the back of the Blazer, you can notice some interesting styling. So for one, you're going to get this dual strake taillight design that has been incorporated in a lot of Chevy products, including the Camaro and definitely the Corvette. It is a LED unit, which is really nice, except for the reverse lights. They're going to be incandescent bulbs on both the RS and the Premier trim. However, Blazer all-wheel drive is actually in chrome. Premier is emblazoned on the back here, and then other things are that silver paint. You have the same piece back here, and this is a cover for the towing package as well. And then you do have a chrome tip exhaust here, which is really nice. As you can see, it is a dual chrome tip exhaust, which looks really, really neat. Rear parking sensors on this model as well, which is really nice. You got your backup camera here, and in addition to that, you do have another camera, and I'm actually going to show you what that's for in a little bit. But overall, I think it's a really clean design. I do wish that this spoiler would have been a little bit bigger so they can hide this up here. It almost gives it kind of a really, really big hatchback look to it. But again, I like the way this thing looks, and I think this one being the luxurious trim fits the bill and looks incredible. The back of the RS model is very similar, but key differences. So black emblem, black letter for the Blazer badge. This is a front wheel drive model, not an all-wheel drive model. And then you got RS in red here. I kind of wish that was black, but I know the RS badge has historically been red. Correct me if I'm wrong. Gloss black all the way across. And then you still have that cover plate here for the towing. But look, they designed this almost like a diffuser, which is really cool. And then you have dual chrome exhaust tips as well. I'm kind of curious of why they didn't black these out, but overall still a clean look. And then if you notice, you actually have a black surround for the taillight unit now. So overall, really nice. It's still a full LED unit, just like the Premier model, and you still have the same camera setup in the back here. So overall, really nice. So I will say, I'm only gonna sit in one of the Blazers for the back seat just because backseat space is gonna be identical. But overall, I will say the roofline a little bit shorter for a car of this class, but I do have ample leg space, which is really, really nice. And the leather seats are actually very comfortable. They're very, very plush, I will say that. So there's a lot of comfort to be had in this interior. And this one does have the panoramic sunroof, which I'll show you. But overall, I do think that this feels really nice. I've got a good amount of space for a car of this size. Let's show you what's going on back here. Back of the Blazer Premier, like I said, look at that pano roof. Huge. In the back here, you can see you've got quite a bit of things to make note of. Full leather interior. You've got this contrast piping, almost like a peanut butter brown creamy color. Looks really neat. In addition to that, you got vents for the rear passengers. You are going to have some outlets there, USB and USB-C, and you've got a household outlet there. Then in addition to that, on the door card, you can see you've got this metallic finish on the door handle, rear heated seats for the outboard seats, and then you got your standard switchgear here. This is padded leather and it feels good. Same thing with this area of the door card, soft touch plastic, and then you do have a little bit of storage down here, which is nice. And then other thing I want to make note of, this strip here, it's kind of this like Alcantara-ish pattern, and it feels really, really nice. In the front seat of the Blazer Premier, this is the flagship model, guys. So this thing is loaded out, and loaded out it is. As you can see, this beautiful, beautiful seating. Power seats, of course, with lumbar support. Looks really nice. You got a leather wrapped steering wheel with the satin finish of chrome. Looks really nice. It is a heated steering wheel as well. And then on top of that, it is also going to be a power tilt steering wheel. So just make note of that. Really, really cool. And the door card, look at this beautiful flake that it has. It looks really, really nice. Metallic finish on the door handle. Got your memory seats and your buttons for the lock and unlock function. Leather door card here, which is really nice. Tiny little storage pocket here, maybe for your phone. You've got your adjuster here for the rear tailgate. Bose audio system, and then you do have a storage pocket down low here. So overall, really neat. And if you guys look at this dash layout, this is why people call this a Camaro SUV. It looks very, very similar to the Camaro in terms of dash layout. But let's take a peek at what's going on in here. Premier model, and first things first, you got a digital center dash, and look at that, 170 in the gauge cluster for this car. Kind of interesting. You got your tach on the left hand side, you got various gauges on the right hand side, battery level, you got your gas, etc. This is a Camaro SUV through and through. I'm actually going to turn this lower. But look at this. So you got your push button start, you've got your idle stop and go switch, you do have your hazards button here. Same infotainment that you're familiar with. I already went through it in the Camaro. You do have it in here. You have that same mirror here. That is what that second camera is for on the tailgate. So that way you can actually make this a digital display or a manual mirror, your choice. In addition to that, look at this. Same exact system as the Camaro. You change the temperature using this dial that surrounds the vent, and you got heated and cooled seats. Literally identical to the Camaro. They just dropped it in this SUV, I swear. USB and USB-C connections, wireless charging pad for your phone. And then this is an all-wheel drive model, so you can see you've got ×2, ×4. So you can change your drive modes here. So you can twist it. You can see takes away all-wheel drive, two-wheel drive. That just brings you to all-wheel drive. And then you see you got your sport mode there. Look at that. You got your off-road mode, and then you got your towing mode if you need to, which is cool. Got your lane safety here, your parking sensors here, and then of course your shifter, which is leather wrapped. You do have your cup holders, and then this is actually a painted piece that's identical to the painted piece on the door. Again, look at how beautiful that is. Really, really nice. Then on the left-hand side, you are going to have your headlight functions and then your electronic parking brake. On the steering wheel itself, very similar to the Camaros. Like I said, heated steering wheel, and then you got things like your cruise control function, automatic collision avoidance, and then here you got your Bluetooth functions there. And overall, a handsome design for the steering wheel. I'm not in love with it, but it does look pretty decent. And overall, very clean. Look at that panoramic sunroof, just insane. Absolutely insane. Both seats are going to be power operated, which is nice. And this car does have the Bose audio system. RS model, and feature wise, it's going to be identical to the Premier, this one at least. But look at some of the details. You've got red outlining the vents, black bow tie here, and then you're going to have RS badging on the shift knob, and on top of that, red stitching on the leather, red surrounds, and the seats are actually going to be red piped and red contrast stitching. So you got red piping and the contrast stitching, but this one actually does not have the sunroof. It is optional, but just make note of that. And you still got the same camera function, same infotainment. So outside of that, nothing too different. You got Bose audio, you got the same seating in the back, heated cooled seats in the front, and you've got the wireless charging. Same interior garnish here on the center, which looks really, really pretty. You're going to have your memory seats here, and you are going to have your digital dash that says 170. The back of the Blazer does have a power tailgate. Just press and it releases. And then you can see in the trunk here, there's really not much to talk about. You've got levers on the side to release the second row if you need to. Got them on both sides. You got LED interior lighting, storage pocket there and there. And then underneath, you got a huge spare tire, very fitting for a car like this. And then you see you got a little bit of extra storage on the side here. So nothing really worth mentioning. And then you do have this button here, just press and it closes away for you. Super, super easy. Okay, so taking this RS for a spin because I'm actually very excited to try this thing. trying to see. Okay. So this is the RS model. So the RS is mostly an appearance package if you want a sportier vehicle. Now, this thing is super, super nice because I've always been a fan of these cars. It is literally a Camaro styled SUV, except lifted. So in saying that, this thing is very comfortable, but it's very agile. The steering is incredibly direct, which is something that you wouldn't necessarily expect from a vehicle like this, but you do get that. This has a 3.6 liter V6. Okay, you've got quite a bit of power at your hands. I'm gonna actually put the power figures up here just because I don't have them handy currently, but I will say material quality in this is actually really nice because you do have leather wrap stitching on the dash and things like that, and it's really, really nice. But it's also very quiet in here, like very, very quiet. The most I hear is literally the ventilation for the seats. It's really nice. Another thing I'll make note of is that this transmission is so buttery smooth. Like, it's buttery smooth. It's really, really nice. Like, I can literally, oh, it's so nice. This thing is really comfortable, and viewing space in this thing is really nice because you don't ever have to worry about blind spots or anything like that because you can see quite well out of this thing. I will say the digital mirror helps a ton in this thing. I will say that it helps a lot, but overall, good viewing. Acceleration's really nice, and I think mostly because this is a naturally aspirated V6. It's not a twin turbo unit or anything like that. It just feels really, really good. But man, this thing's nice. I really do enjoy this. It's definitely SUV-like, and what I mean is very generic in the way that it drives. It's not athletic like a Camaro or anything like that, but the styling makes you think that way. So overall, I feel like that could mislead some people. Unsure about that, but I think in this case it just might. Outside of that, I mean, there's not much more to say. You know, you've got a really well appointed interior. You got a really nice layout. I love the fact that the dash sits upright versus angled down like in the Camaro. The gauge cluster is digital in the middle, which is nice, and overall comfortability in this thing is really, really nice. It's a very, very comfortable car, and that's something that I really, really enjoy. But overall, I think the styling makes this thing worth it, you know, because that Premier was like 50 something thousand, I think like 51, 52, you know, and this one I think is in the high 40s, and it makes it worth it because you're getting a lot of luxury for the price, and you're getting a pretty potent powertrain. Man, this motor really does get up and go. But it's also really quiet, which is nice. Brake feel is actually really good. It's not too touchy. It's actually pretty soft, which I do like. But overall, I think if you've been considering this, I think personally I would choose it over the competition only if you're willing to spend the extra money, because this is a little pricier than the competition, but you do get better aesthetics. You are going to get a very potent motor, and you're going to get a decent bit of refinement in here because it does feel really plush in here. Oh, wow. Oh my god. Holy cow. This thing hauls ass. Oh my goodness. This is great. Oh my goodness. Oh. I wonder what happens when I put it in sport mode. So now we're in sport mode. Oh yeah, transmission definitely wants you to be higher. Steering is still a little bit on the soft side. Steering in this car is very soft. Sport mode doesn't make it too much, I guess, less soft, more rough, whatever adjective you guys want to use. But I will say it still makes for a fun drive. I mean, it's very direct steering, I will say that. It's very direct, but it's almost numb in the way that it functions. Oh my goodness. Wow. It's got a pretty decent pickup. I will say that. This is a front wheel drive model as well. This is the RS. The Premier was an all-wheel drive model, but it had no gas, so I took this one. But power delivery is actually very nice, I will say that. Traction control kicks in. I doubt you'll be able to spin the tires, but I'm sure if you took that thing off, it would definitely allow you to spin the tires. Whew. This thing is nice. I could definitely see myself getting one of these, but I don't know if I would get bored of it necessarily. And the only reason why I say that is only because of the steering. Because I'm a very performance oriented person and I love direct steering. And though this is direct, it's very floaty. It's very numb. And I just want to feel a little bit more connected with the road. But overall, I do think this is a really, really handsome ride. And I think you guys should definitely check one of these out if you're in the market for something that's not necessarily a compact, but not necessarily a big mid-size SUV. This fits firmly in the middle, no third row, you've got a lot of space. I really do think this thing is worth checking out. So in saying that, thank you guys for watching. Comment down below what you think of this car, or if you guys have any recommendations, or if y'all have any requests, I'd love to see it. So let me know in the comments below and I'll get to it. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, like this video, give this video a thumbs up if you want, and I'll see you on the next car review.